Welcome to the session, the Python Foundation. Now that we have seen the Python's core data types like list, tuple, sets, dictionary, let's learn how to access, manipulate, and build the structures using indexes, slicing, and comprehension. Now what is indexing? We'll start with indexing. So indexing means accessing individual elements from a sequence like a list, tuple, or string using their position. So that's what it's called as an indexing. So Python uses zero-based indexing. So in indexing in Python, it always starts from 0. However, for some other languages like R, the indexing starts from 1. Right? So indexing varies with respect to different programming language. With respect to Python, the indexing always starts from 0. Now let's see how Python uses zero-based indexing using an example. So we have seen earlier as well. Let's give fruits as an example. Fruits as apple, banana, and cherry. Right? So now how do I use this? Print fruits of 0 is where you will retrieve the first element. So indexing in Python starts from 0. So Python uses zero-based indexing. So what is negative indexing? So I'm going to use fruits minus 1 cherry. So Python allows negative indexes to access elements from the end. From starting at 0, from end it's going to be minus 1. Right? So we have seen it earlier as well. So just a recollection. Now slicing. So what does slicing mean? So slicing means extracting a portion of sequence using start, stop, and step. Right? So list, start, stop, step. So this is what you call as the concept of slicing. We have seen extensively in the list session. Now let's step into list comprehension. So what is a list comprehension? So the comprehensions are a shorthand way to create a new list in a short way. Instead of writing a broader list, how can I create a list using a shorter way, or using in sets or dictionaries from existing iterables using a single line of code? So how will I achieve it? So the new list is equal to for item in iterable. What should I do? Expression, right? So what is the expression for a new list, right? So for item in iterable, what does it mean? Let's give an example so that we'll come back to the syntax and understand that clearly. So squares of numbers 0 to 4. So squares is the list that I want to create for I in range 5. Right? So let's first write a simple for loop so that you will compare and understand. For I in range 5. Now print I, first print I. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So this is exclusive. 5 minus 1, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is all well understood. Now I want to take a square of this. It's square. 0, 1, 4, 9, 16. Now I want to store that into a variable squares. I'll have to create an empty list and use an append function to append it into a list. Now if I have to write it using a list comprehension, I can write all that in a single line. So for I in range of 5, what is that I want to achieve? I want to take a square. Put that in a square bracket. Right? Now print squares 0, 1, 4, 9 and 16. So all these values, whatever that I wanted to do, I've used a list comprehension. For I in iterable, what is that you want to achieve? Put it in a square bracket. Right? So that's the syntax to use a list comprehension. Right? So that's how I can create a value. Right? So for example, I have a set of numbers. Numbers as 1, 2 and 3. Okay. I want to create a numbers doubled for x in numbers. What do I want to do? X star 2. I want to multiply it with 2. Now let's print doubled. Right? So I am multiplying all these values with 2. 1 into 2, 2 into 2, 3 into 2. I'm multiplying all this value with 2. Right? Now let's expand this further. Let's add an if condition. Right? So adding condition. Right? So if condition. Now what happens if I'm going to add an if condition? For I in range 10. For I in range 10. If I mod 2 is equal to 0. If at all this is equal to 0, then I, right? So evens, then print evens, right? So all these even numbers I can take it and store it into a variable events, right? So 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Right? So I've taken all these values, I can store it into a variable events. Right? So a nested comprehension. So how can I create a nested values here? Nested comprehension. So the nested comprehension here. How can I create a nested list here? So matrix 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So for for every row in the matrix, right? So again I'm writing for number in each and every row, right? I want to take that number, right? Looks tricky, right? I'm writing in two for loop, right? So and I want to flatten this. There are many other ways to flatten it. So this is one way where we can understand how this happens. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have created a matrix, nested list here, right? So and I've written in 2 for loop and I've printed this value, stored it into this list 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is what you call it as a nested comprehension. Nest is dictionary comprehension. Dictionary comprehension. So how can I create it in dictionary comprehension? Right? So for I in range 5. So for I in range 5, I'm going to take I star 2, right? So I colon, right? So star 2. So first index 0, for 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, for 3 square is 9, for 4 square is 16, right? So for each and every index, I'm taking the square values, right? So I'm taking the square values for range 5. I'll call this as squares dict, right? So let's print squares dict, right? So for all these values, I'm taking the square, right? So and what is the value output, right? So this is what I call it as a dictionary comprehension in the same manner, in the same, the syntax. I'm just achieving it. Next is your set comprehension. How will I achieve the set comprehension? So for a word in apple, banana and cherry, right? So I want to find the length of the word, right? So I want to find the length of the word, put it in a curly bracket. And what is the unique length, right? Now let's print the unique length, right? So what is the unique length? So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Therefore banana and cherry has 6, apple has 5. So the moment I put it in the set, the set has only unique values. Therefore I have taken length of the word, only 5 and 6 are stored in this variable unique length, right? So this gives you a fantastic understanding on what is a comprehension. So when should you use this comprehension? If you want to build a new list from an existing IEEE, you're going to use a comprehension. When you want a compact readable code, you're going to use a comprehension. You're applying a simple transformation filter, you'll use a comprehension. When will you avoid it? So you're going to avoid it if the logic becomes too complex, right? So to use for regular for loops instead, right? So when the logic becomes too complex, avoid using this comprehension. Just go with your normal flow of your for loop, right? Now we'll give a mini project. So we have seen so far all these things. Now in this mini project, given a list of numbers, return a list of numbers, given return a list of only squares of even numbers, right? So I'm going to pass a list of numbers. I want to return a list only squares of the even numbers. Odd numbers should be omitted. Reverse a string using slicing concept. Very interesting. So flatten a 2D list using a nested comprehension. So build a dictionary of a number, square for numbers from 1 to 5, right? So therefore today we learned how to access and extract data using indexing and slicing, and how to create powerful concise logic using comprehension. So in our next session, right, so we'll learn various different use cases in data handling, and we'll also start using this logic and